Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. The demonstrations that have gone for some weeks now have really exposed the police. Sometimes back, the police was known to be a very rogue department. But changes were made to ensure that there was a friendly coexistence between the police and the common man. I remember during the reign of the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, he even decided that the police now come to stay with us within the estate. Apparently, they used to say to stay in, they could pick one big story building, the government pays for that building, and they stay together. And they like isolated themselves, and people used to see them as enemies. But there have been tremendous steps to try and make the police very friendly. And of course, trust me, there are policemen who are very friendly. There are those who know their work, that they're supposed to maintain law and order, and they're supposed to work and undertake their work and their job within the law. But sometimes I've realized that the police will work in accordance to the policies of the regime, the powers that be. If you look at what has been happening ever since William Ruto ascended to power, William Ruto is creating an enmity between the police and the common man. What this video where the police was overpowered by the common mwananchi, and they were now chasing the police away. That group was so enormous that the police could not contain them, and the police decided to flee. Those are scenes that we don't need to see. The police is supposed to be protecting us. Not now the common man turning against the police and the police chasing them away. Just watch.
Ona pushi ile ndio wakimbiza. Sasa ni kupanda kwa lori kwenda, panda lori iende. Kai. Bas.
If you ask me, I know some of the Azimio supporters will be very happy that the police was now taking cover and running away from the common mwananchi. Those who are supporting Kenya Kwanza will tell you that this is an act of lawlessness, that people are not supposed to be chasing the police. Let me tell you, one thing I can attest is that this is a very dangerous move, because maybe from where the police was, they had run out of maybe the water cannons. Maybe they had poured all that water and it was empty now, it had gone dry, and they realized that they didn't have any defense. Or they had also run out of the tear gas and maybe the bullets. So they decided that we have to run now, because this is what we had and it's gone. Or they just decided that they don't want to use, because maybe they had some few bullets still remaining, and they feel that it's unnecessary to start fighting with the ordinary mwananchi. One, either they just don't want to kill anyhow, or they have realized that the number of the bullets that they have compared to the number of the people, they can kill a quarter of them, and the ordinary man will pounce on them. So it's a scene that, personally, if you ask me, is something that I don't want to see. But if you ask me, the police has radicalized the common man, because we now see them as people who are our enemies. When they come for those demonstrations, they start shooting with the live bullets, rubber bullets, tear gas canisters. In fact, the scenes that we witnessed today at Pipeline, they have now decided to wanajaza ile water cannon with tear gas. They just fill that water cannon with the smoke, that smoke of tear gas, and they now spread it on people. People cannot breathe. People who are innocent, peaceful, they are not carrying any weapons. And this is unacceptable. They go and provoke the people when they are on demonstrations. And so when you provoke people, they will now turn out to revenge. And how do they revenge? When you throw tear gas canisters at people who are not carrying any weapon, they will decide to look for the weapons which are around, And what will they have? It's only stones that they can lay their hands onto, and then it's now a running battle. You throw your tear gas, they start throwing stones, and it leads to unnecessary loss of life. Because when the police is cornered, I understand that there is a law that guides them, that when a police life is in danger, then they're supposed to shoot. Let me ask you, when do you determine, or how do you determine that your life is in danger? When you go and provoke those who are on a peaceful procession, you provoke them, then they start reverting back and they throw stones. Then you realize that maybe you are now cornered, and you say that your life is in danger, yet you're the person who provoked them first. I think we need to know at what point do you say that your life is in danger, and then it is unnecessary loss of life. You can shoot to kill. The people can even kill you because they are also angry and they are mad and they are coming charged. It is very unnecessary. When we are dealing with these processions, the law requires that we must follow the law. What is entrenched in our sacred constitution demands that you provide security when people are going for demonstrations. And security is a three-way, if you ask me. Number one, you must provide security for yourself. That is number one. The police must be safe. Let me tell you something. The police are our brothers and sisters. And the first protection is they must protect their lives, and they must protect whatever their tools of trade, the bunduki and all that, those guns. Number two, the people who are demonstrating must be protected from any other aggression. You see, sometimes you realize that politicians organize for a parallel team to meet those who are demonstrating, like we saw in Kibra, where the government and some unscrupulous politicians decided to arm some goons, and they torched churches and mosques so that they could, ensure that two tribes fight. So the police is supposed to protect those who are on procession, those who are demonstrating, and then those who are not going on with the demonstrations must also be protected. We don't envisage a situation where, because I'm going for protest and someone is going on with their businesses, then I provoke them and start maybe forcing them to be part of us. Kenya is and must be led by democracy. I feel that we should have a moment where someone must be allowed to open his or her shop to go on with his life if he doesn't want to be part of the demonstrations. And so protection must be given to people's businesses and people's property. Looting from the supermarkets and shops is something that has no place in Kenya today. We don't need to do that. Invading private property like we saw in the former president's land is something that must be condemned. We need people's property to be protected, and that should be the role and the work of the police. Not going there to start lobbing tear gas on people who are demonstrating peacefully. The law requires that when people go for those demonstrations, they carry no weapons, and most of them were not carrying any weapon. I know there could be some unscrupulous demonstrators or some people who infiltrate to demonize or to paint Azimio in bad faith, and this must be condemned. But the police is not doing this, and in the end you find that someone has been shot. And when you scrutinize what happened, you realize that the person who initiated, the team that initiated this, was the police. Inspector General Japheth Koome is a man who's experienced, and I heard him talking that he's an old man. He is going to protect lives and properties, which is good, but let this be a holistic protection. Don't look at a particular team and say that this one cannot be protected. And the police must also know one thing, that they are human beings, they are Kenyans, and we live here with them. Let them not just accept orders that are outside the law, because in the end they will take individual and personal responsibility. Sometimes regime changes. You see, they say that power is transient. Today you are working for William Samoei Ruto because they want to kill demonstrations believe, those who support Azimio. And within no time, you realize that power has changed and the Azimio is now taking over. When they start investigations, because I know the IPOA is there, human rights is there, the IECC could also be watching. You cannot say that you killed because you were given an order. You will be asked whether you took an oath, whether you went for proper training. Because when you say that you simply take orders, it means you don't know what you're doing. We have seen this before. People like the office of the DPP, Director of the Public Prosecution, telling us that he was forced by the former DCI George Kinoti to level unnecessary charges against Rigathi Gachagua and certain people who are supporting William Samoei Ruto. By doing that, you are confessing that you have committed an illegality and you don't know what you're doing. The lady in charge of the budget, I'm forgetting her name, told us that she was compelled to sign certain amount of money unlawfully. I understand that sometimes you can be under pressure, but if you realize that you're under pressure, you better resign. So the police must understand that one day they will take personal responsibility. Let them not shed unnecessary blood. This is one thing that we really need to emphasize. The relationship between the police and the common man must be one that is amicable. The kind of scenario where the ordinary wananchi is chasing a police, a bus, a lorry full of policemen, is a scene that we don't want to see. These are our brothers and sisters by the end of the day. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my take.